Okay, so as we all know, the CSGO player count and the CSGO Steam market doing well have very big correlations together. So yeah, for the CSGO market to actually do well, we need to have a very positive and good player chart. So in this video, I will be looking at the CSGO player charts and actually analyzing it and seeing if it is any positive or negative for us. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so here we have the Steam charts, or the Counter-Strike Global Offensive player charts, where you can see the all-time peak, the 24-hour peak, and how many people are playing currently. The most important numbers to actually look at isn't the chart, because the chart fluctuates so much. As you guys can see, there's been just a bunch of fluctuation. The most important thing to look at is actually the average players and the peak players and the game. That is the only things that actually correlate to a higher price, or not even correlates, that can set a base for a higher price in the CSGO market. So as we can see here, I'm going to only measure it from 2022. So from the start of 2022, that is the only time I'm going to be measuring this. And from the start of January 2022, we had 600,000 players, 630,000 players. So CSGO was actually very positive during January and February. But right after, in March, we actually saw a big decline in the players playing CSGO. That is obviously because of political situations, so the Ukraine and Russian war, that for sure negatively impacted the player count. But as we can see here, during January and February, when the player counts were actually positive, the prices did not go up. In fact, it did go down for January and even stagnate for February. And then in March, when the actual war with Ukraine and Russia actually broke out, that is when we did see a increase of price. Meanwhile, it should suggest that we should see a decrease of price, but it just doesn't. When the players went down, the prices went up. As we can see right here, the prices did go up for March, and for April it stayed the same. And then in June we started gaining players again. So all the way from April to May, we did not gain, we just saw a decrease, so it was just stagnating here in price. Slight increase, but it was not a lot or anything to note in June. But then in June we actually did see a decrease in price. And how were the player counts doing? The player counts were going up, and then the prices plummeted. Then they started stagnating again. So the same thing happened. When the player counts rose, the prices went down. I hope this makes sense, because this is very important for us to establish a base and a frame for the CSGO market in this video. And then in September we started seeing decreasing players again, and we actually went up again. So when the players are going down, we actually go up in the market. Then in November the players are going up, and in November the prices went down. So this is and then it went up a bit and stagnated again. And that is very interesting to note, and that's actually very weird that whenever the player counts go down, the prices of cases go up. Whenever the player counts go up, the prices go down. It's sort of a weird negative effect that the CSGO market has. But why is this? And we need to actually figure out why this is, because I have been saying that the CSGO market needs a higher player base to actually grow. But with this, it actually suggests that it's way different, and we actually need a lower player base for the CSGO market to grow. But the big key to note here is that while we did see that in these months, when the player base were positive, the markets went down. Then in these months, the markets went up when the player base was negative. Then in these months it's just the same thing, you guys get the scheme. But we still, on a long enough time frame, went up in price all the time, and that's always going to happen. And that is what I mean with a growing player base, because that is what it does. It does not, a growing player base for 1 month or 2 months does not predict the price action for a very short enough time, or for a very short period. A positive growing player base on a long-term perspective predicts the price increases over a long enough time. I hope that this is very clear. I know that this is a very difficult concept to understand, but the monkey explanation to this, or the easy explanation to this, is that when the player counts are positive, the CSGO market has a negative effect. And when the player counts are negative, the CSGO market actually goes up in the short term. That is how it is. But in the long term, as long as we see more of these green months or higher numbers on the gains than the losses, the CSGO market always goes up. on a long enough time frame. And that is why I've been telling you guys that the CSGO player base needs to go up. So now that we've established that the CSGO market needs to go up, not on a short term, because it doesn't. If you're a short term investor, it doesn't need to go up. You'd want the CSGO player base to go down in a short enough time frame for you to actually make a prediction of profits. But on a long term time scale, you need it to go up. And that is why I have been saying that we need more updates into CSGO for the CSGO market to actually be healthy in the long run. That is the key word, in the long run. We want it to be healthy in the long run. So the peak players need to always go up, which it actually has, and that is something that's very positive. We are currently at 1.1 million peak players, and at the start of this year we were at 990,000. So it is slowly but surely going up. And the even better thing with this, it isn't going up in good times, it's actually going up in bad times. We don't have a lot of updates, we don't have operations, we don't have all of that stuff. All we really have in CSGO is the esports scene. That is the only thing that is, in my opinion, keeping CSGO alive, and the core fan base is very strong. So yeah, imagine now we get operations and we get updates and Valve actually cares. They do probably care, but I mean fully devote their time into CSGO. The CSGO market would be looking at a very positive future. Like these numbers right here, in a bad state of updates, it's still going up. The peak players are still going up, and the market is still going up gradually, even though there are these small dips every once in a while. Whenever we see a decrease in the player base or increase, it changes a lot. But in the long term, it always goes up, and that is why it's so positive about CSGO currently. And that is why I am super bullish and super excited to invest into CSGO and see the future of the CSGO market. This is pretty much the roughest that it can get. But yeah, this is just a small analysis comparing the player base to the CSGO market and why a healthy player base is good for the CSGO market in the long run. It's very different than my other videos where I usually don't deeply analyze situations like this in the CSGO market, but I will start doing that because I really find it interesting to see, and I do think that if we master all of these things, then we can fully enjoy the CSGO market. So yeah, it is very important to look at these small factors or these small things. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor and nothing here should be taken as financial advice. These are just my opinions and my observations and the facts that I'm showing you guys. But yeah, it's looking very positive. So this has been it for this video. If you guys have enjoyed this video and want to see more CSGO investing content, make sure to subscribe and leave a like to this video. I truly appreciate all of the support that I've been getting. So yeah, have a great day, guys.